Hello and welcome back to Shelf Centered. This is Bryce and I'm bringing you the top shelf news. This is my chance to look at fantasy, sci-fi books, upcoming books that are either new releases or just news about them, or even just books that I'm interested in that aren't new releases but maybe new to me, or maybe not new to me, just something that I'm interested in this week. Then we got media. I like to look at media, science fiction, fantasy, especially book related. That's going to be the best if we can. A lot of times you can stretch that anyway. But this is just, I like talking about what's out there, what's going on, and I had some good stuff this week, so I think. Anyway, so anticipated books, or just the book section of this video, let's get into. The first thing is Dread God. Book 11 in the Cradle series. This one, the reviews are going crazy. Some say it's the best in the series. Everyone keeps saying that. I swear every time there's a new Cradle book out. So it just gets me more and more excited. I am on book 8. That would be Winter Steel. Just about to finish that any moment now. And I got so excited when there's another one. But Will White, he delivers. He's kind of like Sanderson Light. Maybe even somewhat in what he's writing, but Sanderson Light and his book production ability. Anyone, call me on that. I don't know, but I think I'm right on that. Anyways, exciting news. Always fun if you're a Cradle reader. And then it did actually reach #1 on Amazon, and so that's just, how cool is that? It's a self-published series, and it's just taken off. And this is one of the reasons why I say that, man, this self-published, just whatever you want to call it, this new era of self-published books, you got to get on board with it. It's so much fun. There's so much out there that's just different than the mainstream. Because honestly, self-published books, at least you can guarantee that they're doing it for themselves, and it's ideas that it's not necessarily just for money or the production. Not that they're all publishing houses are just in it for the money, but they do have to look at their bottom line, and I get it. I get it, and they do a good job also. And anyway, I'm rambling now. All right, so other big news that you're probably waiting for me to talk about is Pierce Brown. He kind of gave us some information. On July 22nd, we're going to get some news about book 6. So whatever that means. I know book 6, he had written about 200 pages worth, and then he just realized it wasn't the story, it wasn't the right story, it wasn't feeling good. And he did what I can't imagine doing, but you do if it's the right way to go. But he just trashed it. He threw it away and went on and started rewriting it. So that's why it's been about almost 2 years since the last book, Dark Ages, is out. This is actually the reason why I've held off. I read the first trilogy. I love them, and I needed to know that next book was coming out, that he wasn't doing what some authors do that I love, but that have struggled to produce books. I just don't have time to reread everything as much as I would like to. So anyway, but that got me really excited. So this is one of those series that it does have a new book coming out, and that's probably why I am kind of getting into it. But there's just been too many YouTubers, booktubers that have been talking about the series not to take note. Specifically, Patrick Leo and Jimmy Nuts, they have been talking about the Dandelion Dynasty, especially the Wall of Storms. I think it's like 2 in that series. It just, more I hear about this series, the more I want to read it. So this series starts with The Grace of Kings. Book 4, Speaking Bones, just came out in June. And that's why people were having issues with the printing of the last book, where it switched on the spine. It switched the author and the name of the book from all the rest of the series, which is just, I probably would guess that most book collectors are a little OCD to some respect. You wouldn't see it from me if you see my mess of shelves, but That's driving people nuts right now. But anyway, regardless, the content does sound amazing. So I want to read it really bad. That's definitely gotten onto my list. And thanks to those booktubers. There's probably a bunch more, but I got to do it. Ken Liu. All right, editing Bryce here. Man, news is so hard. There's always some other bit of news that pops up and you're like, do you wait till the next time or is that too late? Anyway. So, some more Winds of Winter news. Apparently, this is amazing to me, but George R. R. Martin just posted to his blog a new blog post on his Not a Blog that he goes into his usual spiel, and if you followed him for as long as I have, you know you've heard this before, but he likes to compare. There's two types of writers, at least in his view. I'm sure there's more than this, but essentially boils down to there's architects and there's gardeners, and he definitely puts himself firmly in the gardener place. So but lots of interesting insights, I thought. The biggest is just explaining how hard the whole deal is just at this stage in a hugely large series like this, with this many characters to try to juggle, and then with fan reception, always a concern clearly in the back of his mind. And one of the big ones being that, you know, this whole like, are the books going to kind of follow what the movie did now, or what the TV show did? What's going to happen? Is it going to match? And frankly, he's kind of been clear about this for a while. They're not really going to, and that's because he is a gardener in his writing. He's discovering the story along the way as he's writing it. And so I think it probably, obviously, will match the... I think a lot of things will match, and he points that out, but at the same time, there's different characters even. There's no, I mean, and so he goes into that. And so and he does make it very clear, like what he's doing is very hard. I guess part of this is I just feel like he has been avoiding the topic so much literally in the last couple of years that to get 2 posts in pretty quick succession here, it kind of has renewed my faith a little bit that he's actually even working on it, because frankly, I didn't even believe he was working on it for some time. So there's a good thing. And then, I mean, just to, see him going, I'm jumping back into another Tyrion chapter. So, that's exciting. Who doesn't love a good Tyrion chapter? But anyway, that's just something I was pretty excited about. Jumping back to me. All right, let's talk about media. Dune 2 had some announcements. We got some new cast members. This is really exciting. Dune 1, if you saw my kind of breakdowns of that from last year, I'm a big Dune fan, but I never really read the first full series, which is why I started reading Dune Messiah this year. I already read. I plan to read Children of Dune shortly-ish, and then I'm slowly going through it. We're going to catch up here. Catch up, whatever that means. But I just loved the movie. Denis he's such a good director. So well done. I just loved it, and I'm really excited for part 2. So we got a couple additions of actors that weren't in the first one that I'm excited for. There's Austin Butler. He's Elvis in the new Elvis movie. We've got Florence Pugh. And then Christopher Walken is in it, and then Léa Seydoux, which I was just watching the newest Bond movie, and she's in that one again. But anyway, I'm just very excited. We've got our Feyd-Rautha in Butler, we've got our Princess Irulan in Pugh, and then we've got Walken as the Emperor, and then Leia, I kind of just gathered it's some Bene Gesserit. I got Margot, and I've even reread Dune, but man, I'm not sticking on figuring that one out. I'm hoping that was just some creation. Anyway, Dune 2, very excited. It was pushed back. It was expected October 2023, and now they've just pushed it back to November 2023. We've seen worse, especially in the time of COVID, so we'll see. I'm sure it's not the end of the world, but I'm hoping that doesn't. It's always like if they're pushing it back already, does that mean that we have to be worried about pushing it back another year or something? It's just when the pushback starts coming, it starts getting it's almost like, well, we've done it once, what's it going to hurt to do it again? And I just feel like they just keep doing it. Obviously, we'd rather have the best movie possible, so I'm excited for that anyway. All right, new to me, but I was just looking, it just kind of came up as an ad, but Paper Girls looks like a really good adaptation. It's Amazon. Coming out here soon. It's some kind of like time travel conflict. These girls get involved in it, and it just sounds cool. It's written by, well, it's based on the graphic novels by Brian K. Vaughan, who's brought us Y, Saga, and probably a ton more. I just don't know enough. I'm learning. I'm trying to get into them. They're really good. It's a really fun way to read a book. But anyway, I know Vaughan has a really good reputation, and this comes from Vaughan. So anyway, I think it's cool. Another one is apparently there's going to be a live-action Death Note kind of remake, because wasn't there a live-action Death Note series and it kind of flopped? I don't know. I get the sense that people like this is the thing that isn't really asked for that's happening, and so we'll see. It is by the Duffer Brothers, so they're helming it, and I have to say, Stranger Things is it's excellent. I don't care if you're, I don't think any of the seasons are going to match the first season, but at the same time, are they better than probably most other television out there? Absolutely. I love the kids. I love their relationships. I am there for these just kids, and they're sticking together, and almost like that Stand By Me type, or The Body, if you want to go with the actual Stephen King story. But just that it really does reflect what their influences are, which is Stephen King, a large amount. So anyway, those are the updates, the news that interested me, the books that interested me. Let me know, what are you interested in? What did I miss? What are just things that you want me to talk about even? I'm happy. I have a Discord, and please let me know if you have ideas for the channel. Always willing to do them. I have tons. I'm not wanting for content, but at the same time, I do always like to, what if someone wants to see something? I'm going to entertain it at the very least, just at least if out of respect for my wonderful, beautiful audience. So thank you so much. Thanks for getting centered with us today, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.